Reach that?
Live. I don't know what that is, but this shit say go live and start this. What's speed? 31 to 96 now. They go live. I don't know why they let me.
Hit that red. Got that. Yeah.
Makes sense. Shalom. With the Israelite School Universal Practical Knowledge, starting out of 1 West, 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under Commander General Yohana. We teach that Black, Hispanic, and Native Indians are the 12 lost tribes according to the Bible, and they are the biblical Jews by blood. We're not affiliated with any other Israelite group, Christian organization, or Muslim mosque, man. We are the home of the truth.
Right.
This is history class. I'm your teacher, Ashaya Allah. Today class is going to be based around the lies and deceit of Martin Luther King Jr. and Senior. Let me imply that. And I know it sounds real sour and it sounds odd for what we're about to bring out about Martin Luther King, but this is the truth. Martin Luther King was not a real civil rights activist. He wasn't a real leader or a real rebel, to the oppressor. Nor was Malcolm X, but that's near what I'm saying. That's here nor there. Today is Martin Luther King because our people believe that since we got a day off on MLK, that means Jesus Christ is coming tomorrow, or Yahweh Shai Mashiach in Hebrew. MLK Day is nothing,
Right.
And that should actually show you how much he accomplished as a dark-skinned colored man to have a national holiday like George Washington, like Abraham Lincoln. I mean, we know what the oppressors have done to our people on this land. They abused, pillaged, robbed, and XYZ to get what they wanted. But how did Martin Luther King do nothing and he get his own personal holiday?
Right.
Explain that to me. Can I get Hosea 4:6, Papa Shop?
The book of Hosea, chapter 4, verse 6. My people are destroyed for lack of knowledge.
That our people are destroyed for the small portion of not understanding and knowing who Martin Luther King really was and what his real objective really was.
Right.
His objective wasn't to fight for the rights for black and brown people. His objective was to get us together to sleep with white women. His objective was to get us together for him to do exactly what he wants to do. Because if he is a so-called real reverend and he knows anything of the Bible,
Right.
The Bible clearly tell you to be ye separate.
Right.
Therefore I am separate. The Lord clearly, the Bible clearly tell you, do not give your daughters unto this strange nation, and don't give your son unto this strange nation.
Right.
But why was Martin Luther King the one wanting to come together with other nation of people when the Bible clearly tells you, do not do that? That's why our people are destroyed from lack of knowledge, because we don't even know what the Bible stands for, and we don't even know what's in the Bible. Martin Luther King doesn't either. He was a liar and he was a sexual deviant.
That's right.
His rod was thinking for him. His sex was thinking for him. He wanted to chase after the oppressor, pink skin, and be like the oppressor.
Right.
That's why we're destroyed for lack of knowledge.
That's right.
Go ahead. Offside, y'all calling.
That's a lot. Come.
That's why we're destroyed.
Right.
You want me finna read?
Come. Oh, Salaki.
All right, Salaki, y'all on TikTok.
Because thou hast rejected knowledge, I will also reject thee.
And now since we rejected knowledge, our parents are now 40, 50 years old, 60 years old, 70 years old, and they believe that Martin Luther King actually fought for the rights of black and brown people to eat in harmony in the same restaurant, to use the same bathroom, to use the same water fountain, be able to have interracial marriage. The Lord would destroy us because of the ideal philosophy that Martin Luther King was bringing about amongst our people. It was a lie and it was disgusting, man.
Right.
Because now when we came together with a strange people,
Right.
or people that really didn't give a damn about black or brown people, what do we have?
Right.
We own a pair of Jordans, a pair of Kanye's. We got our own little boxing gym. That's all we got to offer. We selling nails in bundles. That's all we got. Do you mean to tell me we're not worth more than a pair of goddamn hair and nails and lashes? We're not worth more than hitting the lick and smoking on Pookie packs. We're not worth more than that. But that is the dream of Martin Luther King. Because before Martin Luther King, when we was coming through the Reconstruction era in the late 1800s and the early 1900s, we was actually fighting for each other.
Right.
Even through Tulsa, Oklahoma, our nation got burned, our villages got burnt down because we actually stood together like the Bible said. But meanwhile, we want to come together because a lying bastard, Martin Luther King. And I know y'all say, oh, that's fine. How can you talk about him? Because I can. Right. I'm a priest. I'm a priest. And we got that right to correct anything that's wrong and wicked in this kingdom, man.
That's right.
Go ahead.
I will also reject thee. Thou shalt be no priest to me.
And our parents followed after Martin Luther King, and still to this day they say Martin Luther King did this. Martin Luther King did that. And the Lord is rejecting them because they're so simplistic, man. They lack the knowledge of seeing what MLK was really doing.
Right.
The generation of before us, they overlooked everything that was done behind closed doors just to say he fought for our rights to do something together. That shows how weak our people are. That shows how weak and beat down to a pulp, down to dust, down to nothing our people really are. And they do it today. They do it today with TD Jakes.
Right.
TD Jakes is power bottom Jakes. And you mean to tell me you got women running all frantic in the damn Christian church and applauding him because he would not stand to clear his face? Salakia, sir. If any man said anything about me being homosexual or me doing something or unaliving somebody, I'm going to stand and say, no, the hell I didn't.
Right.
I'm all man. I don't like no type of man. I'm all man.
Right.
But you mean to tell me, yeah, our people overlook what Martin Luther King was doing, just like they overlook T.D. Jakes and Kurt Franklin and all these other disgusting people. But meanwhile, they scrutinize P. Diddy because he's not a pastor.
Right.
He's not somebody who's standing up for the nation. That they scrutinize Tory Lane because he shot a bitch in her foot, Salakia.
Right.
Because he ain't standing up for the nation. But the Lord destroyed the generation before us because of lack of knowledge. Now I mean they're decrepit. 65, 60 years, 70, 80 years old and weak and don't know nothing. Stuck in their ways. Telling us our generation is worse than their generation ever been.
Right.
Why? Because we follow the way of the oppressor. We want to join hand in hand with a nation that clearly ain't going to help us after 50, 60, 70 goddamn years.
Right.
Come on, man. Look at Tulsa, Oklahoma. Look at all these thriving communities we had when we were actually sticking together, working out our own problems, loving our own black women, women loving their own black men. Meanwhile, you got a disgusting bastard that want to stick his damn dingling in anything that's pink. Salak, excuse my language, TikTok. Go ahead.
Come. Seeing thou hast forgotten the law of thy God, I will also forget thy children.
So the same way Martin Luther King forgot the law or so-called overlooked the law, the same way our generation and generation, to come in the generations before forget the Lord will also forget us. That's why what OJ did, look what happened to OJ. Because he wanted to lay with an oppressor, a woman that's not for him. Look what happened to him. Look, I mean, Kobe too? Look what happened to Kobe.
Right.
And Kobe is damn near the greatest baller ever.
Right.
Because he wanted to lay with an oppressor that didn't mean us any good, had nothing to do with us. When you forget the laws of the Lord gonna forget you just like a good father should.
That's right.
If you don't want to listen, it's time to cut some ass. You don't want to listen, it's time to let the world discipline you.
Right.
And when you come back and ask me for help, I'm gonna laugh in your face. And that's what a good father would do.
Right.
Go ahead, that's all?
That's it on that.
All right, so we rolling, man. Let's go ahead and turn over to 1 Kings 11:3. Okay. I know y'all say, oh well, God love everybody and this and that and woo, but let me go ahead and speak on King Solomon real quick. King Solomon didn't lose his kingdom because he had a bunch of women.
Right.
He lost his kingdom because he had a bunch of foreign, strange, alien women, meaning women that isn't of his own lineage, Black, Hispanic, and Native Indians. That's why he lost it. But meanwhile, the same way he lost his kingdom, look how Martin Luther King lost his life.
Right.
The same way. Go ahead.
the book of 1 Kings, chapter 11, verse 3.
Mm-hmm.
And he had 700 wives, princesses,
Mm-hmm.
and 300 concubines. And his wives turned away his heart.
So the only way King Solomon, his wife going to be able to be turned, his heart is going to be able to be turned away from the Lord is when he deal with strange women.
Right.
When you deal with oppressor women, you do oppressor things. You start to like being a swirler or being a sex slave or, hating your own brother. You know what I'm saying? Want to join with them thinking you're better than your brother when all reality, you and me are the same man.
Right.
In this kingdom, we both ain't worth a damn. But all the reality, when we join hand in hand as a unit like black men should, we become the greatest.
Right.
We become the actual powerhouse of this nation. But again, King Solomon, his heart got turned away from the Lord because he was dealing with all these foreign women. So let me go ahead and nip that in the bud real quick before anybody says anything about black and white. Let's go ahead and nip it in there.
Right.
Go ahead.
Verse 4.
All right, no, this is good on that. We rolling. We rolling now. Oh, let's go to Luke 8 and 10. So, with the whole March on Washington, our people, and I know my stepdad, he said heavily, at this point in time when I was young, he said, man, everybody was doing March on Washington, and they walked here and went here, and then Martin Luther King had a speech. That whole speech, that whole march was funded behind the auto union, the auto human union. They funded that whole thing for blacks and browns to be able to get better jobs in Detroit because they were thriving at that time. That march had nothing to do with us joining together. That march had something for us to get better jobs. So I can attest and agree with him on that.
Right.
But his overall motive, that whole speech was given to the CIA. Meanwhile, they lined it up perfect because he was laying with the oppressor women.
Right.
Go ahead.
What you say, Mark, Luke?
Oh, Luke 8 and 10.
The book of Luke, chapter 8, verse 10. And he said, unto you it is given to know the mysteries of the kingdom of God.
So when y'all say we don't know the Bible, this shows Martin Luther King didn't know the Bible because it was given to the priest and prophet to actually know the Bible. That's why Christ spoke in parables. So people wouldn't understand because the same wicked ones out here right now who don't understand it and using the Bible for wickedness, if they understood it, how much more powerful would they be?
Right.
Come on. We'd be making $225 every month.
Right.
Go ahead.
But to others in parables, that seeing they may not see, and hearing they might not understand.
So you hear and you hear and see it, and it's like you see it. Start from that part again. Tongue tie.
It says, but to others in parables, that seeing they might not see.
So even though you see it, you don't know what you're seeing.
Right.
Go ahead.
And hearing, they might not understand.
The same way y'all say John 3:16, God loves everybody. That is what you don't understand. Because it's spoken in parables. The Bible is spoken in a particular language. Only priests and prophet and brothers that actually got the spirit of the Lord are able to break it down. You're not going to understand it, man. You just can't pick up the Bible and say in the beginning and then in the end. You can't say that.
Right.
Because you don't understand the Bible. You have to be taught like a child. That's what Martin Luther King wasn't. He was taught by, guess what? His disgusting dad. His dad was a pastor. And with that, go ahead and jump to Wisdom of Solomon 14 and 14. And I know it sounds hard for me, a black man, is that, looking the way we looking with a Mitri on, all black shades on, sipping good Maya and Yayan. I know it sounds crazy, but his dad was a pastor. And everybody know you are the image of your parents. And for Martin Luther King to be that wicked of a black man, the wicked of a man in general, he has to be taught from who? His father was a pastor.
Right.
Of course, he's going to look up to his dad. And do mind, his dad was supposed to be fighting for civil rights and all that other garbage too. But what has he done? When he buried his son before his son buried him.
Right.
Go ahead.
You say Wisdom of Solomon 14.
Uh-huh.
The book of Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 14, verse 14.
Now read this slowly for the people who don't have an ear. Let them hear. Go ahead.
For by the vain glory of men,
by the glory that means nothing of men, it means nothing. Go ahead.
They entered into the world.
They enter into the world. Go ahead.
And therefore shall they come shortly to an end. Verse 15. For a father afflicted with untimely mourning.
Now, let me break that down. Break it back real quick. Because I'm going to let y'all know Martin Luther King, father, he passed in 84. Martin Luther King passed in 68 in Memphis. Go ahead.
Verse 15. For a father afflicted with untimely mourning.
No, I think that was 14. Sluggy.
You want to go back to 14?
Yeah, go back to 14. I'll break it down.
The book of Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 14, verse 14. For by the vainglory of men.
So the vainglory that means nothing of men. Martin Luther King dream meant nothing. And everybody gives this man glory right now on this day. We give him glory as if he did something. Meanwhile, we could go 10 minutes down the road right now, go to MLK, and you see the most, I ain't gonna call them bums because they all are people, the most homeless and unfortunate black people ever.
Right.
The same corner that they at was old grocery store, correct?
Right.
A black grocery store, knocked down. Only thing that look good over there is a damn library.
Right.
And do you think homeless people are going to a library to fill their stomachs, to stay warm? What are they going to read about when they live in hell every day?
Right.
What are they going to do? Go ahead.
They entered into the world, and therefore,
in order for them to enter the world, they had to come from somewhere. He came from his father's loins, and his father taught him that. That's how he came into the world.
Right.
Go ahead.
That's a lot. And therefore shall they come shortly to an end.
And that's how he came shortly to an end. He passed before his father had a chance to pass.
Right.
His father had to bury him. And that's just another way of showing when you do wickedness, the Lord doesn't have to touch you. Because if you ain't raising your children right, you might just have to look down in that box at your child. That's what his father had to go through. Meanwhile, Coretta Scott King still living.
Right.
I don't even know if his mama's still living. Go ahead.
Verse 15. For a father afflicted with untimely mourning.
So that was a surprise. His father thought that he was doing something right. His father thought he was a austere stand-up man, a revolutionary, somebody who gonna make a goddamn change.
Right.
But it was a timely mourning that came cut short. It came cut short. Come on. I mean, the Lord took him out of here for lying. Meanwhile, Christ got taken out as a black man for telling the truth. So who's the real liar? Who's the real liar?
Right.
When we got proof that Christ died for his people, who Martin Luther King died for everybody? You know, I just got off the phone with my brother a few minutes ago, about an hour or two before we came to class, and I was telling him what my class was going to be about. And he said that he overheard a young girl talking to her mom about talking about what she learned in school today or whatever day about how Martin Luther King died for our sins. And that's why I wanted him to tune into class. Because somebody got to be proven a liar. Your Christians follow Martin Luther King, and y'all do the same thing he do. Christ didn't do anything that y'all do. Right. So who is the real goddamn liar? Explain. That's what I want you to talk about. Somebody on TikTok. Explain who's the liar.
Right.
Go ahead.
God, when he had made an image of his child soon taken away.
So he made that image of his child. Just like in Genesis, let us make man in our image. Right. Meaning let us make men in our righteousness. Right. In what we'll do. But that child image of the father was being a pastor, being a liar, being a non-prophet, being a sexual deviant or a fornicator, whatever else that you want to put a title on. Right. You got something?
No, go ahead. Like you blazing right now. This is what I like to hear. You know what I'm saying? Like this is what it's all about.
It ain't me.
You know what I'm saying? Like this is why we here. To wipe the eyes of the people that are blind. Right. Like you said, seeing and can't see. Right. Hearing and can't hear. Right. They can't hear or they can't see out here, man. That's why we here, man.
Damn right.
You know what I'm saying? It's a lot. Go ahead, Doc.
And what makes it even more crazy, the feminist movement was rolling through this, I think it was mid or late 60s all the way through the early 80s. Right after Martin Luther King passed. Now since we joined with everybody, our households are broken. Do y'all not see it? We have to stop sullying down our mind and being so simplistic and look at it for what it is. Right. Why once he become unalive, our household become damaged. Our sisters want to follow after a woman named, I forgot what her name, something Sanger or whatever, feminist movement leader, Margaret Sanger, Sager, whatever. Following after her. Meanwhile, she going to war with her brother, her brother, known as the white man, for her rights. Because now she got to work because our sisters don't have to work for her anymore. Now she has to work. But meanwhile, now our household, we in 2024, sisters 4 kids in and don't even know who the 3 kids baby daddy is.
Right.
That's the dream of Martin Luther King. Woman, thou art loose. Go ahead.
Con. It says, when he had made an image of his child, soon taken away, now honored him as a God.
And now today, Martin Luther King is supposed to be a goddamn God.
Right.
Abraham Lincoln is a damn God.
Right.
Oh, who was the other one? George Washington is a damn God. Y'all make Martin Luther King into a God that is a clear liar. Like your Abraham Lincoln and George Washington and everybody else. The Lord told you, do not make up idols. Just paraphrase. Don't take up an idol to and worship it.
Right.
But what do y'all do for Martin Luther King? What do y'all do? Somebody who need to be talked about, who's a real revolutionary, is Commanding General Yohana. Because if it wasn't for that brother, I would have still been out there smoking weed.
Right.
I would have still been out there sleeping with strange women, doing whatever. Saying Martin Luther King was great because I work at BMW, I make $26 an hour, and I'm free. Right. Meanwhile, over there on MLK, them brothers over there homeless as hell. Homeless as hell. I could be just like them tomorrow. And you mean to tell me Martin Luther King done something? Them brothers, man, it been time me and Officer Gabba War go down there and we'll pass out flyers and just give conversation to the brothers and just listen to them talk. Some of them brothers so wise, and then you got some brothers that just got a million yard stare, which our military call it. They got 1,000-yard stare, whatever it's called. When they just see 2 brothers that's trying, and we just giving conversation and uplifting them and talking to them, and them brothers, they eyes light up like, damn, I can be great. It is some hope. Meanwhile, where are all you Martin Luther King followers in the damn church?
Right.
Y'all probably didn't even go to church yesterday because it was damn snowing. I bet.
Right.
I bet. Go ahead.
God. It says, which was then a dead man.
Which, y'all make an idol, and now he is unalive.
Right.
And this is what the Bible's saying.
Right.
This ain't what Ashayala, the old black Negro, saying.
Right.
That's what the Lord's saying. So who's the real liar? Go to the Atlantic article. And now we about to get down to the nitty gritty where it get real rough. Because people don't want to hear the Bible. So I had to give y'all the Bible first so y'all can hear this article.
This article is by the one that says skeptics, right?
Right.
All right. It says, was Martin Luther King taped by the FBI while committing adultery? On January 6, 1964, FBI men installed microphones in King's Washington, D.C. hotel.
So let's do mine. I believe his speech was 63. In 64, now, they got a whole tape going on about him committing adultery. Christian, how do you commit adultery? Somebody put it in the chat. How do you commit adultery? And break it down to me, because this is history class. We need a full understanding.
Right.
Go ahead, sir.
According to officials who heard the tapes, King that night betrayed his wife, Coretta, not for the first or last time.
So you mean to tell me Martin Luther King was a porn star that day? And he was doing it around on his wife, and he's a pastor?
Right.
He was a porn star. He was a porn star with an oppressor. Go ahead.
Shouting amid his most private activities. I'm effing for God.
He was shouting what?
I'm effing for God.
Wow, that sounds like T.D. Jakes. Have you ever been swallowed up?
Right.
That sounds like Kurt Franklin making music, butt bone naked.
Right.
Talking about rain all on me. What is up with this Christian church and is all this get wet? Well, you remember that heavy set brother talking about I'm saturated, I'm moist. What is up with grown men talking about how they're how they getting turned on and getting wet behind another man?
If I could, so
go ahead, because they getting me mad up in here.
Oh God, like the cat up in Tulsa. I don't know if you know the black dude. He's a motivational speaker, or supposed to be pastor down there. He talking about it's famous on online now, where he said, "Oh, the one that got naked for." I don't know, he took his clothes off for glory, and you know what I'm saying? Like he said, the only stripper I'm paying for is Jesus Christ.
Oh yeah. Yup. Like, what is up with all this?
Something Todd. I think his name is something Todd. Maybe somebody know his name, but yeah, like this is Christianity is a damn. It's a pornographic religion, Salakia.
No, right. Even down when you said in Texas, that church without walls.
Ooh,
like, what is up with the Christian church and Christian pastors having to tie everything to our Savior when it comes to sex?
Right.
Why you just can't be a warrior and say, let me not say that because TikTok will boot us. Why you just can't be a warrior and actually fight for the truth?
Right.
And I'm not saying be physical. We don't in this school we don't advocate for any violence.
Right.
But why we just can't fight for Christ? Why we got to get naked? Why we got to twerk? Why we got to open it up?
Man.
Why we got to get moist? Why we got to do all of that for a man and you a man?
Right.
That's where people make Christianity is of that community.
Right.
But that's what makes the Bible, from the Christian point of view, so disgusting and so hypocritical. Go ahead.
It says, "I'm effing for God.
I'm doing this for God." That sound like a woman. Don't your woman? I ain't saying you got to answer. Don't your woman say, "Oh God"?
All right.
Oh God, like, but the man said, "I'm doing this for God."
God is my man.
Don't that also sound like adultery?
Yeah.
The woman calling for the Lord, but meanwhile you sleeping with this woman. Go ahead, sir.
And I'm not a Negro.
And I'm not. Dude, you see that? That is a sexual lust. That's a sexual lust. He might well just put a damn dog collar on and put a ball in his mouth. That's the same thing. He was going head. This is what made black men so weak in this community, in our world. Just like Nick Cannon. Nick Cannon said, I deal with white women. I deal with oppressor women just to make their father upset. That's what they do. That's what y'all do to feel as if you're accepted.
Right.
Meanwhile, when the ball drops, she's going to do what she's going to do with you, and she's going to go back to her nation.
Right.
She's not going to sleep in the box with you if y'all lose y'all rent. She's not going to do that.
Right.
If y'all got a 3-story, 4-story house together, what's she going to do? Take the house, take the car, empty out the bank account, leave you with debt, and all she going to do is leave you with a damn recliner and a fishbowl. That's all she going to do.
Right.
Meanwhile, you calling out thinking you're getting back at her present. That's in her nature. It doesn't bother her.
Right.
It's okay. She loves it. It's fine.
Right.
I got one black rod today. I get another one tomorrow.
That's right.
But I have my nation. But Martin Luther King thought he was doing something so great. Go ahead, sir.
It says, "I'm effing for God, and I'm not a Negro tonight." Later that year, agents anonymously shipped King a highlight recording of bug sex groans.
So let's talk about it. So since everybody wants to be conspiracy, which we don't indulge in that.
Right.
I mean, I remember when Donovan McNabb was balling, they burned his yard and burned the cross in there. You know, I mean, people getting all these weird letters and all of this other stuff throughout history. Meanwhile, Martin Luther King came through and got some of the same information that was happening in 2010, 2012 with other people. Martin Luther King got the same information. And you know why? The same way with the industry. I put you on camera, you doing something homosexual. If you tell, I'll release this tape.
Right.
Go ahead.
It says, later that year, agents anonymously shipped King a highlight recording of bug sex groans and party jokes, along with a letter warning him, "You are done. Slocky. There is but one way out of you for you. You better take it before you're filthy, abominable."
Hey, if this brother stop reading, it's funny, and it sounds bad for us to laugh, but God damn it, go ahead, roll back up a little, give it to a roll.
It says,
but you're done.
"You are done."
Hey, you can't say that ain't no oppressive voice
This
right
is
there.
oppressor. This is oppressor at its finest right here. You are done. Nobody says that except for damn Karen or something like that. Timmy.
Oh, you're done, buddy.
Jason. Yeah. You are done. There is but one way out for you. Mm-hmm. You better take it before your filthy, abnormal, fraudulent self is barred to the nation. Mm. They called it the suicide package. Mm. Man. That's heavy.
Let it go ahead and let that soak in real quick.
Sink it in.
He said, you're done. You got one way.
Right.
Or you're barred from the nation, just shortening it. Man. And it's called the unaliving package.
Whew, that is funny.
Meanwhile, when he did not, I guess he didn't conform. Because he said he felt like we going into... I feel like he said... I feel, and I'm going to have to look that up. Somebody will look it up in the chat or something like that. Let us know if Martin Luther King said he felt like he led his people in a burning fire after this was released or before. So that's just my thing. I ain't say theory because we speak on the facts in here. But I'm not surprised that he said, I feel like I led my people into a burning house after this. Meanwhile, whatever he said, he got dropped on the goddamn hotel lobby. It didn't work the first time. And what they do? They went and smothered him in the hospital and spit in his face. The worst thing you can do to a man is spit on him. I mean, I done seen people get beat up, but not spat on after they behind whoop. But they spit on him and smothered him. And he can't do nothing. I mean, you in the bed weak from a gunshot. Well, what you gonna do? You can't fight.
Right.
Go ahead.
This is Politico magazine. Mm-hmm. It says
now you can read that first part, but it's gonna be little tiny words and stuff. Oh no, yeah, we good.
Okay, no sign correct. Okay, it says we were madly in love. The untold story of MLK's.
Oh, slight. That's too far. Yeah, that's the wrong way. But that one right there was him loving the oppressor woman.
Right.
Good night.
No, that's some heat right there too.
Oh, slocky, y'all. Good night. I'm at y'all. Brief moment. Slocky. Dang.
They don't understand, man. Like this is pivotal. Every year we got to bring out something about Martin Luther King, God.
Right. When does it stop?
Come on, like when are we gonna stop worshiping this guy, man? Listen, man, he wasn't for our people. Right. He was for his own lust. You understand? And his own gain.
Right.
You know what I mean? It wasn't for our people because every black, Hispanic, and Native know if you go on any MLK in any city at any time, you know that is the hood. That is the ghetto.
Right.
You understand? There is no place where you hear Martin Luther King Avenue, Boulevard, whatever you want to call it, and it's good going on there. You understand? We have been lied to think that we can come together with our damn oppressor. It's a damn shame, man. Damn shame we got to bring this out every year about this damn fool.
We're going to go ahead and do it. I done dropped the article. I forgot where it was.
Mozart Christ, no sweat. You know what I'm saying? Political magazine. We were madly in love. The untold story of MLK's white girlfriend.
This is the act of an oppressor. And when I say it, Martin Luther King only dealt with our sister, like our brother deal with sister today, for sex. But meanwhile, their intentions isn't to be with that woman. They'll have sex with our sister and then turn around and go be true and not blue to a white woman. Martin Luther King was with an oppressor woman and dropped her just to have a clean face on civil rights movement. And then meanwhile, committed an adultery, like the Christians say, on a black woman with a white woman. That's what the oppressor does. The oppressor be true to his women, do our women dirty, look at Nicki Minaj and all them, and then make sure they face is clean. Right. You don't hear about Donald Trump, them European women, what they doing to him. Meanwhile, we know the whole bedroom of Sexy Red.
Right.
We know the whole bedroom of Kim Kardashian.
Right.
Salaki, not Kim. Cardi B. Yeah, Kim Kardashian too. But I mean, look who Kim Kardashian got with, a black man.
Right.
Go ahead.
Con. It says, it took me a long time to find Betty Moitz. I had first learned Moitz. I had first learned her full name while reading Bearing the Cross in 1986. He says in the book, Garrow briefly describes a serious relationship between King and a young white woman around the same age named Betty. They had met at Crozell Theological Seminary in Chester, Pennsylvania. At the time.
Correct. Seminary school is where they try to learn about the Bible and all that. Come on. Your daddy a pastor. Right. He could have ordained you.
Right.
He had to send you away to be lied to too.
Right.
That is the problem with us. We send our children out in the world for the world to discipline and teach our damn children. And when the world does it, looks what happened.
Right.
He passed 20, 25, maybe 30 years before his father.
Right.
Because he sent his child amongst the world to teach his child when he should have been the one to teach him.
Right.
And what makes it worse is the fact that his daddy didn't even know. His dad didn't even know. And it shows how weak we really were after the Reconstruction era.
Right.
That shows how weak we really are when we lay the Bible down and we allow other people to teach us. It's like I gotta control my speech.
Right.
Teach us stuff in the Bible that's not even in the Bible.
Right.
And look, sent his son to seminary school and he met a white woman. And guess who probably was most likely teaching him? 1,000% a white person was teaching.
Right.
Go ahead.
They had met at Crozell Theological Seminary in Chester, Pennsylvania, at the time where King was a divinity student from the age of 19 until 22, when he graduated in May 1951. It says, from the start, Moitz and King's relationship was anything but carefree. Almost all of King's friends, including Barbara, tried to discourage him from staying with Betty.
And they were right. They were right. They were right. Because I'll tell you right now, the same way my stepdad told me and his parents told him, don't bring none of them here. If anything happened in this house, the law is going to be in and at this house.
Right.
Come on, man. And whoever his friend was, they had some type of wisdom and they understood what can and what will happen. Somebody had some goddamn sense in his life.
Right.
Not his daddy.
Right.
Go ahead.
It says, knowing what an interracial relationship would mean for his future, I thought it was a dangerous situation that could get out of hand.
So his friend knew, but meanwhile, he's so damn dumb and he didn't know. Meanwhile, he went, I ain't gonna go too far here. Go ahead.
And if it did get out of hand, it would smear King. His Crozell classmate, Cyril Pyle, recalled in a 1986 interview, it will make his future hard for him.
Meaning, how can you be a civil rights activist fighting and doing stuff for black people? Meanwhile, you love white women. How are you doing this for us? Meanwhile, she getting the best of you. Come on, man. There's a million beautiful brown and black sisters out here. Meanwhile, he had to lay down with one of them. You can be in the UPK and have as much black women as you want. But meanwhile, look at him. Go ahead.
But Betty recalls the time, and the young king, with fondness anyway. In our year-long correspondence and one long meeting in January 2016, Betty, who recently passed away at the age of 89, told me the story of their relationship and just how close King came to walking away from his future plans for her.
Wow.
My goodness.
Wow.
God. Hey.
Wow.
I mean, that must have been a hell of a damn pink toe.
I mean, I hate to say it. I hate to say it as bad as it might sound. If either way, he was living in sin and he was against the Lord.
Right.
But maybe if he let everything go, he would have still been alive. Maybe he would actually be here today to hear the exact truth and see that he made the right decision not to want everybody to come together.
My goodness.
Maybe he would have still been here. But meanwhile, he still was against the Lord. Let me say either left hand or right hand. He chose either way, and the Lord spite his ass.
Damn right.
Simple as that.
Right.
Simple. And then what makes it even worse, he passed before everybody in his life. His wife, His damn dad, probably his mother didn't look into it, and this oppressor woman that he was with. Everybody passed before him. He's nothing but a memory.
Right.
Meanwhile, y'all still uphold his damn memory like he doing something. What has he done?
My goodness. It's a lot.
Go ahead.
He ain't nothing but a damn traitor.
Traitor?
You a damn traitor to your own people. Knowing that time in the 60s,
rough.
Like you a traitor to your people if you running off with a damn pinto. The hell you doing? You a traitor,
right? And we know what happened. It's Locky. You a military man. What happened if you a traitor?
Off with your head. You are locked up for. I mean, I don't know how many years, but damn, you are a traitor,
And maybe them Koreans or Russians, they might not even lock you up.
You off with your head.
Literally.
Come on.
And that's how he should have been dealt with. Salakia, not advocating for violence, but that's how he should have been dealt with. But you know what? You know, the Lord is the one who seeks the vengeance. And that's the Lord dealt with him amongst everybody. He put it on national TV. National goddamn TV. And the Lord clearly said, is this your king? This is your king. When you turn your back and when you add and take away from the law, this is how I will make you look. Like a damn fool. Like a fool. Go ahead.
We were madly in love. The way young people can fall in love. She told me during our conversation at home. She started at the beginning. Do you want to go to the beginning?
Yeah, man, go ahead.
Salaki, let me go into this a little bit. This is all her stuff. Despite the constant exposure to their world, Betty had no intention of becoming a divinity student. She graduated from her high school in 1946. I don't want to get into all that. Salakia. This day was different because Betty met someone new, a well-dressed, ambitious young man from Atlanta, Georgia, who was in his first year at the seminary and lived on the second floor of Old Main. He had a smooth voice and a sly smile.
That's the only reason why she liked him. The same way what we do, we got grills in our mouth. You know, we got that certain strut. We got that body structure. We got that slang, you know what I mean? We real smooth with it. You know what I'm saying? Greasy and slick and sly. That's the only reason why she liked him.
Right.
All oppressive women like us.
Right.
And if they don't, it's because either they married or they just racist.
Right.
I mean, simple as that. That's all she fell in love with him for. Had a little bow tie on, tight ass pants, and a white collar button up shirt. Come on, he looked just like them.
Right.
And it made it look even good. Like he's intelligent. He loves the Bible.
Right.
Come on, that's all it was. That's all he was, and he used that for his advantage for the wrong reasons. He could have put all that luscious and good love on Coretta, and he would have still been there warming that sister bed today.
Right.
Meanwhile, she probably in cold sheets separate. Come on, man. Imagine what that sister go through to see that happen on TV. I mean, I wouldn't even be surprised if she never even had a husband or had another man touch her shoulder. Come on, man. Come on. Go ahead.
At first, she and ML were just making small talk in his Hannah's kitchen.
Right.
Nothing that would cause nearby students to turn their heads. But it continued as they spoke on and off over the next few months. Betty learned about ML's background and his tremendous hopes for the future. Crozer was known as a very radical religious institution, she told me. So I was surprised to hear that ML himself, he had more conservative beliefs. ML's own feelings for Betty were something he tried to keep secret.
See, this is the thing, right? You see, she said conservative belief. He believed in wanting to love on white women.
Right.
He believed in wanting to be with white women. He believed in loving everybody. The same garbage your pastors talk about, for everybody to enjoy you, for everybody to be equal, for everybody to be under one body and one unit. That's what she loved. She understood at that time there was black against white, white against black. You know, white on black crime. And she loved that he was not the typical black person who wanted to fight back. He actually wanted to love European people. That's what she liked. Go ahead.
Salaki, if I could.
Go ahead.
Even he knew to keep this a secret.
Right.
Because it was frowned upon.
Right.
Like you would not keep it secret if it was, like accepted and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. He was willing to die for this.
Right.
He was willing to die for this pink thing. Salaki. It says, though he even written to his mother about his other recent dating prospects, he would not have been at all eager to inform her that he was interested in a young white woman.
His mama would have slapped all the black off of him. All the black.
God.
I mean, he know better. I mean, we know if you bring a woman to mama,
right.
if you talk to mom, all right, cool.
Right.
But if you meet mama,
right,
bitch, hey, listen. You meeting mama is all about you, baby, this and that. But right. he couldn't even talk to his mama about this woman. Excuse my language, TikTok.
Right.
He couldn't even talk to his mama about this woman. Why? Because she would have slapped the unholy black off his ass.
Right.
Go ahead.
Walter McCall, ML's best friend and hallmate, who went by Mac, knew of course, but he saw no harm in helping his best friend separate himself even further from racial norms they both believe were outdated. And though a few other students...
See, Martin Luther King met a friend in college or whoever seminary school that felt the same way. They were full-blown Christian.
Right.
That's the only reason why I went that way. Because the friend in the last article said it wasn't a good idea.
Right.
I would have just been that friend and be like, hey, Mr. Or Miss Ma'am, yeah, you heard about such and such.
Right.
You heard about Moist? Yeah. I would just spill the beans on them.
Right.
Damn that. Because your feelings really don't mean nothing when it comes to that woman having somebody lynch me.
Right.
Go ahead.
And though a few other students took note of ML and Betty's friendly dialogue, it was, after all, a small world inside Old Main. No one seemed too bothered. It says fellow Crozer seminarian and King friend Marcus Wood, in particular, understood some of what spurred ML's attraction.
Let's hear it.
Right.
What spurred it?
Right. I suppose he thought that here I am out of the South now, and not back home. Wood said in an '86 interview.
So hold on. That sounds just like people who make it out the hood. Like you're better than who's in the hood. That's what it sounds like. Since you're not in the South anymore, and you what in Philly? You all in Philly now. You're better than the people in the South. The same hellhole you came from. That is the issue. Our people, we're so want to be so accepted to what the oppressor have, to where we forget where we come from and who the hell we really are.
Right.
That's his problem, and that's the problem with a lot of us. We get a little better jobs. When tax season coming, somebody gonna get a BMW. Somebody gonna go buy a gold slug. Somebody gonna go get a pound of weed and think they better than somebody else out here. Meanwhile, you still fighting demons that you don't think that's demons. You still fighting weed addiction.
Right.
You need to smoke weed before you use the bathroom, after sex, before you eat. Meanwhile, you came out the womb, you wasn't smoking weed. All you needed was a breath of air and some damn food.
Right.
Meanwhile, you leave out of the hood, you leave from the country, and you think you're better than somebody? Come on, man.
Right. And if I could,
go ahead.
That goes back to the precept, train up a child in the way it should go.
Right.
Because if he was trained up the right way, like that precept you brought out in Wisdom of Solomon, it's like if he was trained up like his father should have trained him, he wouldn't even thought about touching that white girl.
Right.
You understand? He wouldn't even thought about it.
Right.
But since he was, you know how a bad child, he leave home, you know what I'm saying, go to college, think he's free.
Fair game.
Fair game.
Right.
Now I'm going to bust this thing wide open type of feeling. You understand? So that's what he was feeling.
Right.
You know what I mean? So Lockie, it said, he said, out in the open, nothing illegal, a free place. Sure, I can go over and talk to this white girl.
Sure. Sound real hidey-tidy white to me.
Right.
Go ahead.
It says, throughout the course of ML's first year at Crozer, his relationship with Betty continued to develop as their chats moved out of his Hannah's basement kitchen. Soon, ML was also making the straight 5-minute walk from Old Main to visit her at Moit's home.
So they started secretly in the basement, right? And now he walking in, pretty sure it's a predominantly white neighborhood.
Right.
I'm pretty sure.
Right.
So you mean to say he went from the basement, sneaking and geeking and freaking, and now he like, I'm what's that word? What's that word? Bold. I'm bold. I'm gonna walk into this white neighborhood and go to her house. Go ahead.
He says he used to go over their house quite often to see her. Wood wrote in an '86 memoir. ML felt at ease with Betty.
Do mine. And I know this I ain't speaking conspiracy. Do mine. We just said what the paperwork just said his father passed in 84. Now the truth is starting to come out when there's nobody that can defend this man but Coretta Scott King. Now she's bringing all the truth out after the dad passed. Come on, go ahead.
ML felt at ease with Betty. It was the enthusiasm with which he spoke on a wide range of topics that first attracted her. He would talk and talk and talk, Betty said.
Hold on, God Warrior, I heard you say it a few times. Like, Israel we love to talk about it. We good. We got a mouthpiece. Hell, we could talk you out of umbrella in the storm.
Right.
I mean, we could talk about it, how to come together and everything, and she loved it. She loved it because she was a stupid oppressor. Same way, Jacob and Esau.
Right.
Same way, talk about a more with a birthright. Right. Same thing. Go ahead.
It says at first they discussed his time in the South and how different it was from the idealized culture within the seminary. It says he didn't yet know how. He didn't know how yet. Salakia. He didn't yet know how, but according to Betty, one thing ML knew at age 19 was that he could change the world.
You know why he thought he could change the world? Because of one piece of box. One piece of little pink meat. He thought he could just change the world. How stupid can you be? Come on, man. I need to look up paperwork behind what her parents thought before or during when they. I want to know her parents' side of the family. Then what she talking about?
Right.
Go ahead.
When ML returned to school the following fall in 1949, his and Betty's relationship continued to blossom. But this was also when the difficulties began for the young couple. By this point, they had become more comfortable on campus, sitting on benches and talking about their plans and goals for the future in full view of ML's classmates and teachers.
Yeah, whatever. He was talking about how I'm about to tie fire to that ass.
That's right.
After we get out, look, meet me in the basement. Right. Better yet, meet me behind the dumpster.
Right.
Go ahead.
When asked if she had concerns about how they might be seen, Betty shrugs. I never noticed. I always had a tan and dark brown hair, but the 20-year-old ML was more aware of the potential social fallout. I mean, you really don't notice when you're getting that good rod. Right. You know what I'm saying? You don't notice a damn thing when you're getting that good loving. It's important to note that in 1949, interracial relationships were still very much taboo in the United States. Fewer than 40 miles from Crozer was the state of Maryland, where the first law against interracial marriage was enacted in 1664. The state would keep similar laws on its books for more than 300 years. Even in 1958, a Gallup poll would report that an astounding 94% of white Americans approved of interracial marriage. Pennsylvania was one of the most flexible states when it came to miscegenation laws. Still, that didn't mean ML and Betty could head over to a local cafe and hold hands open out in the open. Members of the Crozer community, despite their liberalism, would have had trouble throwing their support behind such an arrangement. This is crazy. Hold on one second. Let me scroll through this. It says they weren't against it, but they weren't exactly for it either. Glares, scoffs, and head shakes were inevitable.
You see, this is why I don't like how the oppressor try to word things. They wasn't against it, but they wasn't for it. Right. That mean they're against it. Right. I mean, because look, they always add that gray shaded area, either left, right, up, down, black or white. Right. There ain't no, I ain't with it, but I ain't for it. Come on, bro. Go ahead.
It says, ML's classmate from Panama who worried about the relationship smearing King worked in the kitchen and dining hall and witnessed ML and Betty getting closer. I knew about it, thought it was bad, but I didn't want to get involved. Soon their dates mainly consisted of Betty driving ML around the city of Chester, ignoring the scowls of society. I listened, Betty says, and he just talked and talked, but she loved it.
And what year was this?
This is in 49, July.
Back in the 60s, if I'm not mistaken, and I mean, it's a bunch of brothers in the school, you know, even in the world, they said back in the 60s, you could just be driving by yourself or with a car full of black men, and you get pulled over, and one of y'all maybe become unalive.
Right.
But him being in this car with this European woman, just all around the city, he didn't have a care in the world. He just thought he was better than everybody. He could do whatever, forgot where he from, don't know where he from, don't even know who he really is. And at this point, I never even heard him speak on the Bible.
Right.
I never heard him speak on the Bible. Ever. I mean, Salaki, if I'm wrong, have you heard him ever speak on any Bible scripture? So why is he so great? Y'all look at Christ like he was what, a farce and a lie, like he didn't even exist. But meanwhile, y'all support and love Martin Luther King when he didn't say a damn thing out the Bible.
Right.
He said a speech that was written by somebody else. So who's the liar? Go ahead.
Yeah, it says, his enthusiasm, his anxious hopes to return south and help people. He was wonderful. A joy to be with and listen to. Oh, he was in that. I mean, I'm pretty
Of course,
sure.
he a joy to be with.
God.
I mean, the goddamn rod, just right there in front of you.
Right.
I mean, you know how Israel is. I mean,
Come
hey,
on.
we ain't gonna say no.
Right.
I mean, come on. She ain't used to that. That's all on there. We probably ain't need no more, man.
I mean, this is a long article and long. This is I mean, listen, this is crazy. You know what I'm saying? Our people, man, we always get the short end of the stick when it comes to leaders. Right. You understand? And it's no sweat, but we have a leader. You understand? We have a leader. Right. You know what I'm saying? We got Commander Junior Hahn. You understand? We got the Isupk. Right? So why in the hell are we settling for somebody that's going to sell us out for a damn pink toe?
Right, man. I mean, it ain't never that serious, man. It is never that serious. And let me clear it up. Hey, shalom, brother Darius. You know, shout out to your brother in out there in B-More. Most High in Christ, man. It ain't never too late to be in class. Right. See, that brother seeking information. Damn right. He's seeking for the truth. Damn right. Meanwhile, a lot of y'all in here on TikTok and you feel like you just know when you don't. Because this precept I'm about to pull out right now. Right. Let me get Jeremiah 23 and 25. This precept we about to bring up right now is something you ain't never heard in your life. In your life. You never heard about Martin Luther King being in the Bible. Never. And it's in the Bible. You know why you never heard about it? Because your pastors ain't going to tell you and they don't know. Right. I bet Martin Luther King didn't even know he was in the Bible saying, I have dreamed. Man. He would have read, if he seen this, he would have never read it. Right. If he seen exactly what this Bible said, that same precept, he would have never read it. Damn right. His ass would have been alive right now. Right. He would have been alive. But he don't know the Bible. He went to that damn church, that Christian, whatever that college was, for a piece of white meat. If he would have just humbled and shut his mouth for a second, he probably could have came across that scripture. But he did not read it. And it's because of his father. And because of his father. Go ahead.
The book of Jeremiah, chapter 23, verse 25. I have heard what the prophet said.
I have a dream that one day we can join hand in hand, black and white, woman and whatever. Right. That's what I have a dream. Go ahead.
That prophesied lies in my name, saying, I have dreamed.
I have dreamed. That was a lie. That was a lie. The Lord didn't give him no dream because the Bible say be separate. Don't give your daughters or sons to other nations. Right. If he had a dream, it would have never been that dream if he would have read that scripture. Maybe it would have been, let's be a little separate for a little longer and try to work this thing out. Go ahead.
I have dreamed. how long shall this be in the heart of prophets that prophesy lies?
Prophesied lies. How long should he say this in his heart that prophesied lies? How long? Everybody know you can't. They Christians say you can't say goddamn, don't use his name in vain because of this and because of that. But how long you gonna lie on the Lord before he do this and do that?
Right.
Y'all speak on everything else that's a fallacy and a fantasy, but you don't speak about what's the real damn truth in the Bible. And the truth was he was a lying prophet. He's a liar. The Lord did what he did to him for a reason.
That's right.
It doesn't matter. What happened is what happened. And he was an example to what will happen and what can happen. Go ahead.
Come. Yea, they are prophets of deceit.
They're prophets of deceit. They're liars. Just like T.D. Jakes and Kurt Franklin and everybody else, Eddie Long and all of them. They are liars. And Dr. Martin Luther King was just one of them that caught I ain't gonna say astray. No. He caught around. Damn right. He caught around and got smothered and spit on. And all the other pastors, they following right behind him. But they just want to get their dingling wet just like he was, Salakia. Right. Or get their behind wet like T.D. Jakes did. If he read the scripture, he would be alive today.
Right.
He would be. Or maybe he could have just passed from something to something else. But if he read that would have never been that way. It wouldn't be no Martin Luther King Day. Go ahead.
Come. It says, yea, they are prophets of deceit of their own heart.
Of their own heart. Of that woman, whatever that he was sleeping with. Of that other woman that he was saying, I'm doing this for God. That was in his own heart.
Right.
He wanted to get his rod and his rocks off. That is what he was lying about. I have a dream. And then throw all of you simplistic, dumb older generation to say March on Washington was fighting for the rights of me and Gabor Rakar.
Right.
Now we have to go to a slave and kiss the white man ass to have a job to provide for our families. That was nothing. That march was for us to have a better job. But y'all turned it and flipped it into something else. What you saying, brother? T.D. Jakes talks like he's trying to sell people something, but he wants the money, which is you damn right. You damn right. Anybody who really ain't standing for black people want money. Dr. Umar, Kurt Franklin.
Right.
I mean, who so-called want to be? I mean, KRS-One. If y'all want to take it all the way there, all of them are selling our people for money. Jay-Z. I mean, hell, Jay-Z, J. Cole.
Right.
All of them doing the same thing, man. But again, the Bible said these are prophets that saying, I have dreamed. And there's only one dream letter or whatever you want to call it that was read out saying, I have a dream. I have a dream. That one day you didn't know you was getting hit with a goddamn round for lying. That's the part. What part of the dream was that?
Right.
Where was that part in the dream? Where you get hit with a straight for lying on the Lord.
Right.
And again, for all of y'all that celebrate Martin Luther King, Lord be with you.
Right.
And I'm saying this out of sincerity of my heart. But Lord be with you. Because it's always something happening on black holidays. Go ahead, sir.
God. It says, which think to cause my people to forget my name by their dreams, which they tell every man to his neighbor, as their fathers have forgotten my name for Baal.
Oh, I mean, and we could just break it down even finer. His father forgot the name.
That's right.
Our ancestors forgot the father's name, but his father forgot the name. And look what happened to his son when he forgot the name. Now when we follow after his son and his son forget the name, look what happened to his son. His son became unalive.
Right.
Call me a liar. Smack me on my neck, goddammit. But it say it in the Bible.
Right.
Let's go ahead and get Isaiah 56 and 10. We're going to go ahead and close it out. Because today is the day, man. Today is the day. That's a Christian day. Today is the day that the Lord... Yeah, the Lord made this day for you to hear this.
Right.
Go ahead.
The book of Isaiah, chapter 56, verse 10. His watchmen are blind. They are all ignorant. They are all dumb dogs. They cannot bark. Sleeping, lying down, loving to slumber.
Martin Luther King was just laying on his back and just stroking that white woman. T.D. Jakes was getting stroked just a few months ago. I mean, and they were just laying down, just slumbering.
Right.
I mean, just like a damn dumb, ignorant dog, just just laying in it, and basking in it.
Right.
And they look what happened. Mm-hmm. Go ahead.
Yea, they are greedy dogs.
They're greedy. Good.
Which can never have enough.
I mean, it comes to a point where a thief knows I need to stop stealing. The cops are on my ass. An unaliver knows, like, I need to stop this. I got 12 bodies and I'm on the run.
Right.
They all know. But when does it come to a point where how much fire do you got to tie to this oppressor woman? And how many times do you got to hear your friends say it's not right?
Right.
How many times do you got to think that I can't tell my mama about this woman? How many times the Lord got to give you for you to wake up and realize that you shouldn't be doing something?
Right.
Y'all wouldn't go out here and sleep raw with prostitutes. You scared after the first time. I might just contract AIDS. You ain't gonna go 10 times doing it unprotected with a prostitute. But how long is it going to be? Go ahead.
It says, verse 11, yea, they are greedy dogs which can never have enough.
That you can't stop putting your rod inside that white woman. You cannot swallow and all up at these P. Diddy sex fests.
Right.
Dark parties, whatever they call them. I don't know. Go ahead.
And they are shepherds that cannot understand.
And these are supposed to be leaders who do not understand the Bible and why things are going the way they're going right now. Because they say the law done away with, when clearly I don't know what the Bible was saying when I first came here, but I took initiative to listen.
That's right.
And to go look and see if these men are really talking the truth about what they saying. Meanwhile, Martin Luther King ain't pulled one scripture.
Right.
T.D. Jakes ain't say, have you ever been swallowed up? This precept showing it.
Right.
Nobody wants to look up anything no more, man. But we closing on that was the last. Any more on that, sir?
It says they all look to their own way, everyone for his gain.
They doing their own thing. They worry about like Christian said, I'm worried about myself.
Right.
I ain't trying to worry about nobody. I'm worried about myself.
Right.
Trying to figure out their own game.
Right.
How they gonna get a limo.
Right.
How they gonna do this and how they gonna do that.
Right.
How they gonna get your son in the back room. We closing out a class, man. Today is Martin Luther King's so-called day. This is the Lord's day. This is the history day. And I'm bringing it out hard-bodied the way it needs to be brought out. Because it's our generation. I'm 30. According to the word, I'm 30. But you got parents that's 35, 40 on up. And they willing to battle tooth and nail and go to war behind a liar who really don't mean no good to our nation, man. And I brought it out for the article's sake and for the biblical sake, to show that what I'm saying or showing what I was taught and what's being shown is the actual truth. That dream was a nightmare and it was a lie. It was all demon driven behind sex with European oppressor, interracial marriage, interracial sex. That's what it was based around, man. It wasn't sincerity when it came to our people being better, our people being stronger, us growing, us building something. It was just all about how can he feed his own lust dealing with another people. But with that, man, I'm Ashaya Allah, man. This is history class. Martin Luther King's dream was a goddamn lie, man. And we ain't affiliated with no Israelite groups, man. We ain't affiliated with a Christian organization, Muslim mosque. But these announcements, Shalom, Ya'abashim Ya'ashah Barakatah to the brothers, Ya'ashah Bashim Ya'ashah to the sisters. Man, we're the Israelite School Universal Practical Knowledge, starting out of 1 West, 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under Commander General Yohana. We teach that Black, Hispanic, and Native Indians are the 12 lost tribes and the true Jews by blood according to the Bible, man. Right. We're not affiliated with any of these trash Israelite groups, right, Muslim mosques, or any Christian organization whatsoever, man. We are the home of the truth.
That's right.
When a brother or sister come into the school, they are off limits for 6 months. They are to be saluted only. They are here to learn and share themselves of the world. If a brother has an interest in a sister in the school, he is to seek permission from the head to speak to her. If he or she needs transportation to a class, the teacher will arrange it. Tithes is a commandment from the Most High. Malachi 3, 8 through 10, Numbers 18, 20 through 21. 10% of every penny of any increase the Most High gives you. Pay to the ISUPK. Either give it to the teacher in class or mail your check money order to the ISUPK. Send your tithes or donation to the Israelite School of UPK, P.O. Box, 11 Upper Darby, PA, 19082. For 90 days, a brother wears all black, boot, shirt, pants, headband, and war scar to get in the spirit of warfare. This is protocol, even if you are attending class online and not physically in the school of the ISUPK.
Right.
A trooper is not allowed nor authorized to teach or battle. They are to attend class and learn only.
Right.
Passover is, I know where at? Durham. Passover in Durham, North Carolina.
That's
man.
right.
April 20th, correct?
April
20th. If you ain't there, man, you better have. Hey, you better be on sick. You better be sick and can't move, or just stuck in a penitentiary.
Right.
Because other than that, you are a Christian. You're a fake Israelite. If you are not at the only ordained Passover that was, sent down from Yahushua, the Commander General Yahweh.
That's right.
Pay your goddamn $200, man. It's $200. Pull up in some Dickies and a white tee.
That's
just
right.
pay your $200 and beat it. Other than that, man, you're a Christian, you're a coward. The next feast day for the sisters that can't shut their mouth for the right reason. We got Feast of Purim, Thursday, the 22nd of February to the 23rd of February 2024. And you can find that in Esther 9 and 20 through 31, man. Sisters, listen, Esther was a gangster.
That's right.
She knew when to open her mouth and how to help her people. She didn't worry about all that gossiping and all that other strife. She did what she had to do as a sister, as a woman.
That's right.
Be at Feast of Purim, man. And with that, shalom.